Sweet darling, that ain't the way you make love. You've been turning around uptown. You ain't some fancy clown. You ain't some fancy clown. You've been turning around uptown. You ain't some fancy clown. You ain't some fancy clown. You've been, I hear you in the background.
One of the unusual things about this group is that each guy in the group can lead. Any guy in the group can do it.
Straight out the Ville. It's the BackAlley Fellas podcast.
They said we could never make it. They said
Billy got it bumping.
Yo, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
What's going on, people?
What's going on?
Peace and blessings, everyone. Peace and blessings. The BackAlley Fellas podcast is back.
We here.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
In the
indeed.
building.
One
In
and
the
only.
building.
One and only. Yo, thank you for joining. My name is Mike D. I'm here with my brothers, Big Pat, and brother Six, the elders of the collective. We formed the BackAlley Fellas podcast. Thank you if you've been grooving with us for a long time. If it's your first time, we're so thankful for you joining us. If it's your last time, thank you for joining us. And
Right.
if you're gonna continue to rock with us, then we really thankful for you rocking with us. And just wanted to see how my brothers is doing. Pat, how you doing, boss?
Hey man, I'm always doing well, man. Any day above ground, and I'm always feeling good to be in the midst of loved ones, brothers,
Yeah.
family.
Yes,
So-
yes.
Yeah.
Brother
That's
Six,
right there.
how you doing, boss?
I'm doing almost perfect there, brothers. Like my brother said, man, it's good to see you two brothers, man. And it's better seen than viewed. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Absolutely.
all the viewers out there to tell somebody where we at.
Yes,
We right
indeed.
here.
Yes,
Give a
indeed.
shout out to and this is for the viewers out there. I want to give a shout out back to Louisville, to Fat Blood and family, man, to all y'all, man, in Louisville too. That's what's up.
Yes.
One time. Yeah. What you doing, Mike D?
Just chilling, man. Wife, kids, they celebrating when our daughter, our youngest, she turned 19 a few days ago. So they're doing a little paint party on the back, on the deck.
Okay.
So they just
Praise
vibing
be
out.
to Allah. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
so
Peace.
they cool, and I'm in my little manhole doing whatever
Okay.
I do. So
Right.
I'm good, man. But again,
That's good.
for those who just are tuning in, we always dedicate, when we say Fat Blood, for those that don't know, when you see the introduction, our dear beloved brother Reggie Smith, who would have been that fourth member of
most
this
definitely.
without a doubt.
Yeah,
He
this
would have
is it.
been that and was
Yeah.
the architect of really the concept of BackAlley, when we just put some things together, the fellas from what Big Pat had for us way back in the day, our first official club,
Yeah.
not game, but club.
How old was I then,
Yeah.
Pat? How old was I?
Right.
About 14?
Probably
About
14.
About 14
Yeah.
or so? Man.
Yeah. So
You-
Long time.
So that was that was our beloved brother who things happened and he's rested in power now. And we always just want to shout him out, shout out his family, peace to
Hey,
them,
yo,
and blessings.
Mike, tell
Yo,
your daughter, man, happy born day, man.
oh, indeed, I appreciate that,
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
that,
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Is it
yeah.
today?
No, it was on the 14th. You know what I'm
Did I
saying? It was
say
on the
something?
14th. I believe you did. You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah. I think I text you or something, didn't
yeah, and then Damon's, my brother's birthday was on the
Yeah, the
15th, and his
15th.
I?
afro,
Yeah.
he looking like Rollo in his pictures.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said,
Happy
boy, that
belated.
hey boy, I said,
Yeah,
boy,
we some July babies. Mine was the 8th.
yeah,
And
yeah, happy born
my
day.
daughter's was yesterday, and my daddy's was the 17th. So
Wow.
we
Yeah,
all
yeah.
in there.
Oh man, that's something crazy. So
Yeah,
yo,
man.
you know what we do, fellas.
That's
We
right.
already know what we do. Good people, we know what time it is.
Red
We want to
cup
know
time.
what's in your
Red
cup.
cup
Now,
time.
at some point in time, I'm gonna switch it up because we say bottles, glasses, and cups that are plastic, but all we have is cups that are plastic. So one of these
Right.
days, I'm gonna have a bottle or a glass just to change it up to let them know that we do something different. But this is a Louisville staple right here, and so we want you to let us know what's in the drink. Send us something, a nice little recipe, and we'll try it out, and we'll let you know if it's funky enough. But with that being said, I'm gonna go to you, brother Six. What's in your cup?
I got that sweet red today, man. That's
Sweet
that
red?
nice, yeah, on chill. It's chill, not
Okay.
room temperature this time. Good and
Okay.
cold, chilling.
Good and cold.
And I was gonna put it in the little wine glass. I just think, I'm just beginning to trying to experiment with the wine thing, So I don't know
Right,
much
right.
about it, but I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna learn
I
it.
heard
I'm
that.
gonna learn
I
it.
heard that.
What, yeah. What you drinking on, brother Mike? What you
Uh,
got over there, man?
berry punch. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing that punk thing today. In
Berry
all day
punch.
long. Berry punch. That's it.
Okay.
Nothing in it.
Sure.
Just ice. What about you, Pat? Because I know you got something special.
Now, well, I really
See?
didn't know what I wanted to chase. So this is a weird combination. So anybody that's watching or looking, so don't judge me. But this is some Bacardi rum and some Canada Dry. That was the only thing I mixed with it. Now it ain't the best taste that I've ever had, but it's worth. It works.
You know what? You know what?
Because I was thinking he was gonna have like some
Yeah.
Twizzlers or something in it.
Yeah. Hey, I almost
That ain't too bad.
I almost hit him again with Phil. That was too sweet last week. That I was up for 4 hours after that. I was up 4 hours. I was dancing and everything. I hit a little break dance, percolator and everything, man.
Sugar level went all the way up. Went all the way
man.
up.
It
Boy.
ain't too bad as a taster though, Pat. As a taster, it ain't too bad though.
It's all right.
Got to be more
But I
careful.
think it's time for them libations. Them
Indeed.
Okay. All right.
Start it
Go ahead,
off.
do your thing.
So bottles, glasses, and cups that are plastic. Alleyways backwards. Perfection takes practice. Friendship turned kinship. 2/3 of the street dynastic.
Brotherhood from the neighborhood. This podcast is going to be a classic. Divine state of mind. I'm moving the subline. On the rocks, brother, give me something strong.
Get your mixer, slice of lime, put your drink up. Now let's link up. It's nothing but
Ooh.
love in this atmosphere.
Ooh.
Peace, salutations, brothers and sisters, the fellas. We in here. Cheers.
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 Yeah, it's a little different, but you're right. You're right, though, brother Six. It ain't that bad. Now, you know what? I hadn't stirred it up. Now it done mixed. It's all right.
There it is.
I might have
There
to
it
put
is.
this on the list.
Look at him. As long as Bacardi is the main factor.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Man.
It's
Can't
it.
go
It's
wrong. Hey, they say
Uh-huh.
I'm no party if you ain't got no Bacardi.
Now that's what the old heads say. Y'all
Old
young
heads.
folks, young folks don't get in trouble listening to Big Pat on that. Have y'all laid out with your drawers on your head.
That's why I call a party.
That's it. So what's up? Hey,
Drums on the head.
Well, I got one more for you before we start.
yo, what's
What
up?
is?
This for the young cat. You ain't gonna never have a penny if you drinking that in it.
Where you be finding them at?
You ain't never gonna have a penny. You keep
never have
drinking
a
that
penny
in it.
if you keep drinking that in.
He
All
ain't
right,
never
but-
lied though. Yeah. So what's going on? What's going on in the back alley, man?
You know, what I've been hearing is we never really got to finish what we talked about last week. So
True
I
indeed.
that we need to continue that conversation last
Okay.
week about if we are actually, as individuals, building up our community or tearing it down, or even our own circle.
Yeah. I was telling my wife about this, and we were having a conversation, and she she brought a different perspective to it that I appreciated, because I was just sharing some of the thoughts that you had on and off camera, Pat and
Yeah.
Six. And she was like, she said, truth be told, Mike, she's like, with my business and different things going on and trying to get that started, she's like, sometimes I see your posts, sometimes I don't, because it's not in the algorithm. And it's not that I don't support you, it's not that I don't love you, it's not that I don't even ask about it. She's like, but I be in my own little thing, doing what I got going on, that I that it doesn't cross my mind. And I was like, well, truth be told, every blue moon I'll ask about her business and what's going on and so forth, and she might give me some information. But I get that, and so it made me think about, not that anyone was wrong with their opinion, but um do
Yeah.
we you may know where I'm going.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
we know exactly.
go with it.
I'm sure
But
both of us know exactly where you're going. Yes, sir. Go ahead, bro. I'm walking with
but are we, what say you when we say that, people sometimes have things going on in their life that sometimes maybe preoccupy their mind, and they're dealing with what they're dealing with, and so it's not that they don't care, it's just that,
they don't have time. Let's call it what it is.
Well, let
yeah,
me ask you this though. Let me
sure,
ask you two brothers this though. Let me put it, since you brought it from that perspective.
uh-huh,
But the truth of the matter, because I'm gonna be honest,
uh-huh,
and Six don't even know this. I said something to my wife and his girl about an hour ago. Because the truth of the matter is, there's 24 hours in a day. There's
hmm
160 hours in a week,
168 hours
8 hours in a week.
in a week. And you mean to tell me someone you love and care for, even as busy and hectic as our days are, I'm working on my doctorate, running a business, got grandkids, got a ailing wife, got a house, got a cook. But you make time for things that are important to you. And
yes,
and
That's
and,
interesting.
and we have to hold each other accountable,
hmm
because we do that in other aspects of life. And,
hmm
but I do agree. Let me say this:
hmm
I agree that it don't mean necessarily that you don't love them or care about them. But
hmm
what I really meant to say though is, because you love them, because you care about them, how about setting a timer on your watch?
mm,
When you got your schedule out, you say, "Damn, I got a business
mm.
this week, but on Friday I got a couple hours. I'm gonna go ahead and listen to their podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and set my watch for a reminder, or something like that."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And with the ones outside of our spouses, our friends, you put it in our group.
yeah,
And I know they got time. They got time to go to parties. They got time to go see females. They got time to do all this other stuff. So I'm not speaking specifically us. I'm speaking in general,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
community in general.
We make time for what's important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the things going on, an event. If there's 100 people there, that's not enough. You might have 100 people and say, well, we had a nice little turnout. But the truth of the matter, when you're doing something for kids or a special cause, we should have 500 people there. Easy.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A concert come and or some steak leg or whatever it is, and the whole, and
right,
the whole stadium's packed. But
right.
let somebody do something for a cause, cancer or something, you know.
So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it here,
Go
Mike. I'm gonna
ahead.
take your side, brother, because that's an interesting point. And I'm one of those ones who share the heart of you two brothers. That I feel like, if Fat Blood, if Reggie was here, and he's the one that came up with the name and the concept and all of that stuff, his heart would be the same. We have big hearts, and sometimes we overlook things, and we we expect things from people because of our heart. Because you know, I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'm gonna give you the shirt off his back. Mike, you'll get a shirt off your back, and we've proven that to each other, even in our clique. So I'm gonna take it here with on Pat's side also. Even though you and I, Mike, yes, let's give them the benefit of the doubt because we have our lives, and everybody, and like Pat said, we're speaking in general. Everybody in their own communities have the same situation.
Yeah.
And you just don't understand those ones who don't set a time aside as if it was just like anything else to do something like that to support your brother. On the other hand, you may not have time. Now, as I was saying last week, though, I understand both sides. So I'm just saying to the audience and to those who are listening, there are some out there that's like Mike, like you, Pat, and there are like me. And so, and what I mean by like me is what I said last week was that I don't spend the energy, or I try not to spend the energy on the reasons why you are not doing that, because we would do it for you. I don't understand. It don't take nothing but 2 minutes to actually go onto your platform and say, hey, okay, read the comments or look at the video and say, hey, I'm gonna go check this out, set a reminder, hit the button, click it, give a thumbs up, give a comment, invite somebody. All that stuff is easy. And sometimes I think that we just get tangled up into our lives so much that we do forget things that mean so much to others, you know. And I just want to put out there to the public. This is something I do personally. You should try this exercise. Every other weekend, I call or I text those loved ones because something hit me after the guy that we're representing, Fat Blood, hit me when we say this. We only see each other when we go to funerals. That's the only time we hook up. And the word is, if you need anything, just call me. And I don't need to go no further with that. I don't need to expand. That's a whole nother conversation. But we don't do it. We don't keep in touch. So make you a list of especially your family members or your brothers and sisters that you know that you keep in touch with, that you knew that you were small, that you then came in contact, or that you've told that, hey man, I love you. And we need to stay in touch with one another. We need to stop building up the funeral and text them, call them. It don't take nothing but 1 minute. So I'm gonna leave it with that. And brother Mike, you go ahead and spill a little bit on that because that's where I'm at. Just try that exercise, man, because it's easy. Say hello. How you doing? I love you. Tell a family member or the
always change the subject.
I'm with that on that particular. I wanted to go that way with it because.
But that changes the whole subject. If we're turning up a building, build it up or tearing down our community.
And what I'm talking about self-preservation because it's upon each one and every one of us to do our part. And if you don't do it, I'm not gonna sit back and wonder why, is what I'm saying. So whether you turn it down or building it up, take it upon yourself to do something. That's all I'm saying. For those who we talking to, you know we are. Just do something, say hello or something, you know, because either way, tearing up or building down, I would like to hear your voice and that you love me the way I love you. So that's where I'm at with.
I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna shift. I appreciate what you said, but I'm gonna shift. As we were talking about in trying to take it a little more general. And again, this is a conversation, so I don't want us to sit back and listen to one another pontificate. You know, I'd rather for us to build on this, you know, on this platform and just keep this conversation. What you got?
What you got?
What's that?
What is that?
My thesaurus for you. Yeah, give me today. When you throw out one of them $100 words, I got you. I was ready today.
Yeah, man.
You stupid.
When you throw it out, make sure it's a real word, because I'm gonna look it up.
Pontificated, it's a real word. All right, so with that being said, I was gonna go here because I've been watching some other videos and some other YouTubers and again, I don't know if we're gonna ever get. I have no idea. If they'll ever see us or whatever. But I'll simply say, you know, for the sake of whatever, I'm going to shout out Morris World TV, Tahaka Bay. I enjoy watching that brother. He's funny as I don't know what,
Yeah,
but I
man, it's
get
good,
where
brother. That's
I
good,
get
brother.
exactly where he's going with it, and he's kind of touching on what he's trying to expose. He's touching what we're talking about. I was watching something, brother, 10 Toes Down. I respect what he was putting in as far as, you know, not glorifying the streets and things of that nature. But I'm watching Lennon Otter, just different people, and I'm looking at these people. And we had this subject, and I think it's the same. It ties into this about the bloodsuckers or the people that are in the community that are supposed to be standing on certain principles that are supposed to be building the community.
Ooh, that's nice
Yeah.
there. Principles.
But they really are fleecing the community. They tearing down the community, and they tearing down the trust of many that would gravitate towards certain things because they come in the name of freedom fighting, black power, all of these different things that sound good, but really they just scam artists. And they're really tearing down the fabric, and they really don't care. And the question or the problem that I have is that it's plain as day. So what do we say? Do we have a responsibility to, well, I'm just not going to listen to them and I'm going to ignore them? Or do we have a responsibility, like Pat was saying, if we're talking about a personal, do we have a responsibility external to say, hey man, we not doing that. We're not accepting that. You can no longer come into our neighborhood. I don't care how many people like you. I don't care how many subscribers you have. I don't care who's rolling with you. Man, you killing us with this nonsense. And I'm not about to let you come into any neighborhood. If you in Indianapolis and you speaking, I got to be there to say, man, get the hell out of here. We don't want that. And whoever brought you, what's up with you?
Yeah.
Cause you got to
We
know.
need to do that. I think that needs to happen.
You see what I'm saying? What is our responsibility for those that are tearing down the community that we see? Ain't no mystery about it. We know for a fact that's what they doing. What is our responsibility?
So the real question becomes is if we don't do anything, are we subconsciously or participating in assisting them in tearing down the community if you don't?
Absolutely. I believe so.
So I do too. I believe so too. But before we move on, I have to stop for one quick second for our listeners out there. Pontificate in the verb expression is one's opinion in a way considered anonymously possible.
Come on, baby.
Dogmatic. Just so that you know. Okay, from there we're gonna move on.
So did I say it correctly in a sentence?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Okay.
So I do believe, and I know y'all, I'm poking fun, but Mike's a really highly educated young brother.
It's brothers.
And
love that, brother.
I'm poking him a little bit, but you know. But I do believe that it is incumbent upon us to speak up. And because we don't, is one of the reasons that after all these years, it seems like every step that we take in the Black community, we take 3 or 4 steps back. And we never, it's almost like the treadmill effect. You run all day and you get tired, but you haven't went nowhere. One of the reasons we still are not where we should be. Now, we have moved forward. I can't deny that, but we're still not where we should be. And part of it is from our own culture. I think we've made enough strides in the world, in the United States and the world, to be in a better place, but we can never get there because of things we do to ourselves.
Now you say no, you I like it, but I'm the pushback because that's what we do.
Yeah.
You say culture. I'm going to ask you: is it culture or is it the lack of culture? or
I think it's a little both.
or the assimilation of someone else's culture.
I think you hit the trifecta. I think it's a little bit of all three.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Because
okay.
I believe on and that we are a product of our environment. So I'm gonna go with that one. So yeah,
Well,
I'm with it. I think you did.
Like me and Brother Six had this conversation,
Uh-huh.
and before I even bring this up, I wanna state to brothers that are part of any organizations, the Masons, the Muslims, anybody. These are nothing personal. These are just opinions. So me and Brother Six was having a conversation that if we're whatever group or organization we are, if we're preaching about our culture and where we come from,
Yeah.
then why don't we wear the what are they called?
Dashikis
And dashikis.
African wear.
You know why? And at the time we were speaking about the Muslims because he's been a Muslim, and I'm like, well, if the Muslims are talking about back to things in Africa and going back to the motherland and all of the great things that came from Africa, why y'all wearing suits?
But
that's a Western culture. That's a Western.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. It's okay for us to do that from the no. It's okay for us to wear that, but at the same time, we forget that we actually brought fashion to the world.
I got you.
That becomes the Western. So the Nation of Islam.
We didn't bring that. We took what they had and improved it.
No. We brought that because when you look at the Moors in Spain, especially from Stanley Lane Poole and those, they talked about. I think the brother's name was Zurab. I'll get the name and I'll put that in the comments. But it's a brother. They called him Moor, but an African brother that came over, and not only did he introduce the 5-course meals, but he also introduced the changing of fabrics during the different seasons.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? In different colors and things of that nature. And so we've done that. Now they've taken it to a particular level, and those are the things when you look in the 20s and in the 30s and things of that nature, in 1900s. We in our community, men wore suits and the ladies wore these things. And so even with the nation, because they practice a different form of Islam that's not based on the Arab tradition, because that we're not in that region, in that climate, they do something that's different to distinguish themselves from that particular culture because they're not tying into it. So I don't have as much problem with the cultural appropriation that we might have.
Well, I don't have a problem with it either. No, I'm just saying that.
No, but I get what you're saying. But I feel like that's to me that's surface level, because see, I know people that wear that and scam the hell out of us. So you wearing something don't mean that you in your African state of mind. I'd much rather for you to.
That's a whole different conversation, though.
No, because you
can apply to anything.
Well, yeah, but
that can apply to anything.
But I think what you were saying though. Go ahead, Six. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Please.
So I'm gonna pick up where Mike left off. This not because we've already had this discussion. This is an ongoing discussion, and I just wanted to break it down very simply as the best that I know how for our listeners, because that's why he brought the point up. You wouldn't wear in the Army where you came from to represent the Army. It's a uniform. We're not considered as wearing a suit, or there's meaning behind every word, every piece of cloth, every piece of wearing, or anything that you would put on when you put that uniform on. It's just a uniform. It ain't that we're from Africa, but we're wearing a suit with a bow tie. That ain't the meaning of it. And I get what you're saying. You're saying, okay, so if you're from something that you're preaching about, why not represent that? It's just like the Army here, or the police, or the fire department, or those things. It's a uniform. If you're a doctor, hey, you wear the doctor's uniform. If you're a Muslim, this is what you're required to wear. If you're in the Army, this is what you're required to wear. It doesn't have a specific meaning on.
Yeah, but to that same meaning though, then why isn't a dashiki the required wear?
But who's to say that is so I get what you're saying, but then that is keeping us and confining us to the continent of what we call Africa, when we know that we expand the whole diaspora. So not only are we from the continent, but we're throughout the diaspora. So we're throughout.
We can wear what the hell we want. We invented all of this.
Yeah, so
I get
okay,
that. I get that
but
from that point.
I'm
I
looking
never
at here.
thought of it that way.
Yeah,
I
but
never
I'm
thought of
saying
it that way.
that's stupid. But the point is that it. So you make a valid point, and I think that at one point in time I kind of felt like that as well. But again, I go back to whether
'Cause
you
what?
wear mud cloth, kente cloth, or whatever the case might be, something authentic from Africa, or what you might think and is actually made in China or whatever. I'm not really worried about that, especially in the context of tearing down and building up our community. I'm more worried about, if you're wearing a suit and you are doing things in the community that are positive and giving and building our community
I can
up.
go with that.
I can rock with you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you got on that dashiki and you got the kufi on and you doing everything and you got the beads with the ankh and all of that, and you out here doing God knows what to women, children, and you know what I mean, and you taking money and scamming, then what the hell does that mean? You got you got the whole thing going, and look, is African, whatever that is.
Can I be honest with y'all?
What's
Y'all
up?
made me forget the whole purpose we even was talking about that. Both of y'all.
You brought up the point that,
and now you don't went where
if
I have no idea why we was even talking about
But
this.
you brought up the point that if you're preaching, you're coming from Africa, and that's where we come from. That's our homeland. Why?
No. I'm saying, but why did we even get on that when we were talking about building up the community?
I don't know. I don't know. You brought that up.
You brought it up. You brought that up. And we
I don't know why.
But
that's what happens. Viewers, that's what happens when we get old.
Yeah,
we bring up some shit and we don't know why we brought it up.
I'm gonna try and tie that in though, because it's interesting though. Because as a Muslim, when I was active, we wore that to represent building up the community. Young brother, you ain't got to wear sagging pants. It's okay. Do you? But I'm saying, if you walk into an executive office and I'm going to do a business deal to take care of my family and to uplift my community, I'm going to come to you correct, and whatever it takes to do that, starting with my first appearance, because when you first meet somebody, that's the most important, because that's the idea they're going to carry with them for the rest of that meeting. The first sight of you is going to be the most outstanding.
They got 8 seconds. I might bring somebody on here that specializes in that, and that kind of got
that's
that
very
breakdown.
Important. So what you're saying is true.
8 seconds.
So if I walk in and I got on my African gear to have an interview with you, oh, this dude's from Africa. What does that say to the person across from me trying to get this job or trying to get a business loan? We're gonna stay with that. We're trying to get
I don't know if we tying this up. I'm gonna try to tie this bow, and then we can try to get back on it. I remember listening to Dr. Greg Carr and professor at Howard University, Karen Hunter show. Everybody should tune in for that. That's knowledge unbelievable. But he was talking about they had took a group of kids to this conference in Africa, right? And so the young people from America are in here, and they're about to meet the young people, the African people. So the Americans, they got on their dashikis and everything right there. Mm-hmm. And the African kids come in and they got on their little suits and everything, and everybody looking at each other like. And it's funny because he talked about the governance of how each of them was trying to mimic and what they thought would be most representative in showing their reverence to. But one of the things that they learned while being there is that from the young people and the oldest as well, is when the elders of the village came in, everybody stood up and everybody got quiet. And they learned that quickly, like, you don't talk, you don't say nothing until you told to talk and say something.
I'm one of y'all elders.
You're right. You exactly.
Y'all don't stand up and be quiet.
We
No, but we
should.
sit down and shut
That
up.
should be as a sign of respect. So,
We sit down and
So-
shut up. It's all the same. We sit down and shut up.
Every time you come in,
We sit
I
down
be
and shut up.
I be
so the
quiet.
basic subject though.
But when he leave, I be talking again.
Right.
If-
Uh-oh. Here come Debo, y'all.
If we should say something, if we should say something to individuals that we believe are tearing our community down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that there are a lot of people that are tearing our community down, and I
Man.
believe that we should say something, because being quiet, I would go even a step farther to even say that there's a lot of people that are making monetary gains from our community, but are not really putting anything back into the community.
Mm-hmm.
But no one ever says anything. No one, and I don't know if it's out of ignorance or out of just
Right.
lack of caring. I don't know what the problem is, but I think it runs rampant through urban communities.
Well, you
So
know
let me
what?
ask, let me
Okay, go,
pose
Six.
this, let me pose
Go
this
ahead.
question to you, Thomas, on that, because I've been one that's been speaking on this subject about, hey, let me move forward with what Mike said, the key word, what I see in my community. You know, that's key. What am I seeing in my community? And my community, as of right now, is the community that I'm in with building this business. So those ones we should say something to. Should I continue to say to those ones we should say something to, hey man,
You went on mute.
I'm sorry about that. Other than, hey, and you ain't giving me no thumbs up, you ain't had no comment or nothing. Should I say that, or should I say the other? What would your suggestion be to me if
What would be the other?
The other would be, hey man, you want to buy something? You want to buy something to eat? When can we come to your hood and you're gonna support us? Instead of, man, why ain't you supporting us? Why ain't you buying, or why ain't you giving a comment and just, you know, cut? Me one, and I'm asking this question. Me one, I would say, hey, look, this is my thought. This is my thinking. This is just me.
Mm-hmm. You on mute again.
You're on mute
Not
again.
gonna give a thumb up. I know you're not gonna tell nobody, because you've proven that by your history, and it's been about this long since you've done that. So what I'm gonna ask you, brother, is to right now, while I'm speaking to you, you want to send a donation to the business that I'm trying to run, or should I find out a way to send you an order of these particular products that I have, and I want your support that way? What should I? How should I? And how should I do that? And how would it tear up the community or build it up?
Well, you know my answer. Y'all kind of already set a framework for me. Y'all didn't call me Debo, and you done put my answer to be truthful, which is to chin check them. Because I'm gonna be honest, I chin checked a young dude today, and if he's watching, I hope he sees it. So I won't say his name, of course, but because we not like that. But you know, this is a young dude that I kind of mentored coming up when I was working for the state, and he came to me for advice and oftentimes for help in many situations. Well, I was on Facebook today and I saw him advertising this food truck that goes like to the same spot as us and come up there and this and that. So I sent him an inbox and said, really? And I know you see my Facebook because you comment on my Facebook all the time, that you see us at that same spot on certain days and you didn't support me. Wow. And that's how we do each other. Chin check them.
Yeah.
OG, you know, blah, 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 blah. And it ended up, we still cool. And I said, well, you know, even if you don't support us monetarily, you know, you could at least share when I put up our flyer or where we're going to be and stuff, you could at least share it and invite some family and friends. You know me, you know the kind of dude I am, you know what I'm doing. You've even ate my food and said it was delicious at events. But when it came time when I needed you for support, you know I'm building this business, you ain't said nothing. And he ended up, you know what, you right. So Thursdays is not a good day for me, but I could at least share and invite some people out.
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree
Okay.
with Pat from that perspective. I might even take a lesson from you that you said earlier, Six. Um, in some instances, um, it ain't even worth it because some people now in Pat's particular situation, the
Yeah, that, yeah,
proximity of
yeah, you
them
say
knowing
something.
one another
You say
and
something.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
relationship that they
yeah,
had,
yeah, yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
really? Is that's what's up? And it's some people that you have to bring that awareness. And I'm the same way. There's several people that have some things going on, and it's too many to remember. And some things I need, and some things services I don't need. But that still doesn't. It still shouldn't stop me from sending out some kind of support for them or sharing what they do, so forth and so on. So this conversation is also for me um, forcing me to think about some things that I do and don't do, and how I can get better
Yeah, it definitely does.
in certain
And I
areas.
agree. 'Cause there's some
Definitely
things
does.
I could
Yeah,
get better in our community.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
as far as what started prompted this whole conversation was, of course, we were talking about if what we do individually is building up or tearing down our community. And last episode, I talked about some of our close family and friends. But I just gotta beg to differ with you all because these same people rely on us, love us, call on us, and every time they hand is out, I'm one of the ones that's right there. I got you, brother. But I need help sometimes. I need love sometimes. I need a hug sometimes. I need a shout out sometimes. I'm tired of always being the one that has to have the olive branch and be the, it's hard being strong. And I
man,
don't
listen,
you can make excuses for them. I told you, and you can go in there and ask her. I just said something to my wife
right,
before we
right.
got on here. But and
Nah,
she pointed out to me, well, I went on there and she goes on, and what she does is my wife watches and she throws a thumbs up or a like, but she don't make no comment.
right,
But you think I let off the hook? I said, no, I was going, you right there, go on, make a comment. You done
right.
like, you don't put a thumbs up, we'll make a
I
comment.
I appreciate it. You know, sometimes when
Yeah,
I'm alone in my
thanks for all of
room,
that.
sometimes I
Yeah,
stare at the wall. And at the back of my mind, I hear the conscious call
right.
telling me,
Hey, hey,
sweet as a
for
dove.
one
For the
good
first time in my
second,
life,
you had me. I
thinking,
was thinking, where's he going? I'm thinking in my mind, where's he going with that?
there I was about the days, you know. But
Yeah,
on some real on some real stuff. I think that we have a unique responsibility when you cut
Mhm.
from a particular cloth. And that is to be the example. That's why, with the business and everything that you're doing, I would also encourage you, brothers, and I know in your own way that y'all do that, um, to well, I know with this Delta variant and now they got the Lambda
Yeah.
and different things, hopefully people are protecting themselves and we won't go back into the hole again.
I
But
just wish everybody get vaccinated.
yeah, I'm making sure when they can do that booster, I'm gonna hit it. Um, but the thing is now that it's kind of opening up, I'm looking forward to trying to get out there in the community again and do some
Yeah.
activities with some different people, whether it be mentoring, whether it be
Yeah.
partnering with other people to do some things and support them. And I think that is the thing that we can do. There's certain things that we just can't change. The only thing that I can change is myself.
right,
I can't change
right.
nobody else. So I can try to be that example. We can set those black codes individually, and hopefully if we do it in the right fashion, when we stand next to someone else, they will look, and if they're practicing my art, they'll have to come and say, you know what, let me let me apologize and let me get right in right balance with you, brothers, because I've fallen short, and vice versa. So I would encourage y'all to do that because I know that y'all got a lot to offer. We encourage the community to do that. But I'm gonna stand on this. As much as we talked about the personal and the things that is from that perspective, I'm so damn sick and tired of watching some of these. Listen, I don't even want to say it, but I'm so tired of watching a lot of these ninjas on YouTube that are supposed to be conscious, that are
Yeah.
supposed to be, you know, financial good, and they killing us. And they
They
killing
are.
us because they
They
getting
bring down the
sponsored.
community.
They it's payola. They getting sponsored. They getting put on by these people, and and to try to validate, and it looks like they got it. And the
And they really
reality is
don't.
that they
They really
don't.
don't.
And they
They really
killing
don't.
us
Yeah.
because those that really got it won't have a chance because they gonna be like, oh, you just like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
man, I just
Yeah.
got burnt.
Yeah.
You know what's killing me though, Mike?
What's that?
Here's what's really killing me. As of June 2021, nationwide, blacks are still dying 1.4 times the rate of white people from COVID.
Mm,
Yet we still got blacks that won't get the vaccine.
I can't understand that to save my
Do
life.
you think that's tearing our community down?
Absolutely.
Well, I put that on me then, because I'm turning the community down. I still ain't got it.
What you waiting on?
So
I guess the Lord.
and here's the thing, and the
Well,
numbers.
you could,
Here's
God,
the thing, the numbers.
yeah, I'm gonna knock
The
on
numbers
wood.
don't lie. You know,
Yeah,
we are still dying
I
at
feel that. I feel that.
4
I
times
understand that. I
the
get that.
rate of white people.
I get that.
Cause here's what I don't understand. And this, I mean, we done went a whole bunch of places, but we could tie this in some ways, and we had to come back to this because I was telling my wife, we was talking about this. What I don't understand is that if people are going to take that stand, then I'm like, well, go all the way. When you fall out from a seizure, you get your arm broke, you get shot, stabbed, whatever. Just go home and pray, or meditate, or do
Or
whatever.
Whatever you do to get you through,
But don't
do
go
it.
to the hospital. Don't do that. As a matter of fact, don't use the refrigerator. Don't use the stove.
Feedback.
So you're saying don't
microwave.
breathe enough. Don't breathe.
No,
Don't
you can
use the
breathe.
feedback.
Yeah, you can do all that.
Don't use the restroom.
Yeah,
don't use
but
the
don't use running water. Go to a well.
Don't
It do all that.
use your pen.
I'm gonna end on this. I'm gonna end like this because the lights just flickered. I seen them in the back.
Oh, look at them. I look at them. They
I
flickered
heard my
all of a
mama
sudden,
holler.
Pat.
Yeah. I'm hey, to each his own. I
each
ain't
his own.
knocking you brothers. I hope y'all don't judge me. And if you do, yeah, I hope you got the Lord.
Wait,
or
hold
whoever
on, before you say that, hold your thought. Hold that thought, because I just have to say this. I have to. You making that comment right there contradicts, or not necessarily contradicts, shows why you have the stance you do with like, well, if our friends or our family members don't, I don't worry about it. It's because you don't care about nothing. You just made it right there. If you do, oh well. So you have a I don't care about anything attitude. So then there's no sense of ever even discussing something like that with you because nothing bothers you.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Off of that, what have you seen from me in
No,
our community?
I'm telling you what you say, what you just said.
Okay, no. I know what I said. But
You
what
said
do I
you
do?
brothers don't judge me, but if you do, I don't care.
I understand that. I understand what you said. So you're going off of what I say, but what have you seen me do in our community?
Hey,
That's my point. It ain't
hey,
about
if you knock this off his shoulder, then you got to fight.
It's about what you do. If it's something that I stand for, then stand on it. And if you don't, then you don't. Don't judge, though. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. To each his own. Regardless of what I said, what do I do? In our community, I show you support. For those who support me, I support them. It's not being selfish. It's about growing what I see. Mike said, hey, in our community, what we see, what are you doing about that to help, brother?
I agree with you on that. I think that when we touched on the other part of it, I think it's more from especially the story that y'all both told about what happened when y'all both got it, and they said that this one is even, these variants are even worse than the others and more contagious, is that the last thing I would want is that call, and it can happen to anybody, so I get it. But you have a greater chance, like they saying, you got a greater chance if you don't. And I love you so much that I want to make sure that you're doing everything that you can to be safe. So it's not necessarily judging. It's just that I love you too much to sit by and not say my piece. So it's not judging.
Right.
It's you gonna
And-
do what you do as your man, and I ain't gonna stop loving you.
Right.
But I love you too much to not say something because I want you to be here. You know,
I get that, and that's
you dig
and
what I'm
that's
saying?
and that is what I guess that's where we all agree, because and I got to ride with Pat on that one. At least say something to those who you believe that are turned down a community or could do
You
better.
know I say something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's where we all are. You got to say something to them brothers or sisters that's in your community about what you doing to our community to hurt us, man.
Yeah.
And if I'm hurting you, then it's your right.
Mhm.
It's your civil duty to say something to that brother or sister about, hey man, look, and I don't care how you take it, because Pat tell me all the time, he get mad all he wants. I'm gonna tell him.
Right.
And
So
then at least the blood's off my hand. I'm
Right.
gonna let him to the water. Now, if he want to drink, let him drink it. If he don't, it's on him. And,
So,
and
ladies
I
and
agree.
gentlemen,
We got to do that. We got to do that. Yes, sir.
on that note, they said that the lights were flashing, which means them street lights is on. And if you don't know what them street lights mean, it mean you way younger than us. And we definitely appreciate that. But we gonna educate you on something. We gonna learn you something a little bit today. Fellas, what does that mean when the street light is on?
That
Thomas.
means you better kick rocks. That means, like, come on, you have no more time. Hey, remember the old hourglass? You turn it into sand drop. The last kernel of sand done drop.
Right.
better
That
beat
means
it.
you
You
should be
better
standing
beat
on your porch.
I
And
would
if
say,
you-
and
if
yeah,
you not, something's gonna happen.
that's it. You better go out there and start picking. I would say if as the lights start to flicker, your steps better get quicker. Get on that porch. You know what I mean? You better get on that porch.
You better kick rocks.
Boy, in
Slide, moonwalk,
the
whatever you
worst
gotta
kind of
do.
way. We all have done it. We all grown.
Get
And
it.
listen, and God, if my mom was still here, you know what I'm saying? And our parents, if we were with our parents and they were like, I need you to bring this, and I need it by this time. As grown as we are, we gonna be there
We're gonna do it.
15
I'm gonna
minutes
do it.
ahead of time.
I'm
Because
gonna
I
do it
do
right
not
to
want to
this day.
hear that
No.
wrath. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
look.
And that's just respect.
Hey, look,
I'm-
last week I told this little quick story, and this is for anybody that didn't watch last week, but it's just so funny to me. So we was
It is funny.
standing in a group, there's about 10 of us, and we was talking, we was rapping, singing. You know, this is the 80s, so you know, everybody rapping, singing,
Right.
dancing, and somebody just happened to look up, and we all looked up and saw that street light on. There was no goodbyes, catch you tomorrow. I mean, as soon as they look up, the whole crowd just was in all different. I'm talking about, I ran through an alley. We was over on 24th Street. I cut through that alley, hit the backyard, and when I came around the front, I slid on that. Wow, got up on that porch, and just as I got on the porch, they was coming out to get me. Mama
That's
was
it.
at the door, and I was on.
Hey, that's
It's
real.
always a pleasure. I'm gonna
beautiful.
close with this, brothers, that we don't always agree. It's always much respect and love. Even to the family members and friends that I speak about or say, or even any of the groups in the community, I don't mean any harm. It's just my opinion. And ultimately, everything that I'm saying out of love, because I want to be one that's uplifting our community and not tearing it down. If I'm doing anything that can be tearing our community down, I apologize. And please let me know so that I can change that. But it's always a pleasure being with you, brothers. It's always a pleasure talking to those that are listening and watching. Much love.
That's peace right there. I want to say to the community, there again, man. And I speak, you know, for all of us that's on here, man. We love you because we love ourselves, and we are not going to let you outlove us. Period. So do that in your community and think that way, man. Because, and you know, if you can dish it out, make sure you can take it. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time, brothers and sisters. If you see that, say something. And believe me, stand for something or fall for anything. I love both of you brothers and the car community out there. Peace to everyone, man. And I'm gonna leave out with that one.
Well, man, both of those were deep. I don't really know how to follow that. I would simply say the time is now and the week is new.
My dog.
And we'll have more podcasts for you. And you'll have things you want to talk about. We shall too. See you later.
See you later.
Peace.
This is for Pat. You gotta be, you might not, some of y'all might not have been out the street.
Sometimes I tell myself, look what you've done to her. I can feel it inside. I can't.
We don't own the rights, but we damn sure own the rights to have a good time. Peace to LL Cool J.
Rock that.
Holding in my laugh.
A legend, living legend.
You saying I'm more, kissing you on the ear,
Whispering I love you and I always be there. Hey man, listen. Shout out. One love. Peace.